Hello and welcome. It's Sunday. It's time for a chat, and it's beginning of May, so it's bank holiday weekend, and as you'd expect, it's pissing it down out there. Yeah, it's pissing it down outside. So, come in, do a video, and been a busy one actually. Beer, yes, the old Yorkshire Bitter still hanging in there. The Belma Summer Ale, sadly passed. The Neepers just to say going, but I'm only having the odd half here and there, so it's not surprising that really, is it? But this, dangerous stuff, isn't it? These old hand pulls just goes down so easily. I'd be interested to know how the old, what do you call it, the Chug Challenge, doing a stein or one of these. Wonder how that would go. Probably down quite quickly, I think. So cheers. He's had a beer. We'll catch up in a minute. I'll do it first of the day. Right. So what's been happening? It's been a busy one actually. Done 2 brews this week. The initial brew was the Vacant Gesture again, but I swapped the hops for Idaho 7. I quite enjoyed how the original Vacant Gesture, how the mosaic came through, and I really have no idea. I've brewed several times with Idaho 7, but I don't think I've done it on its own enough to know what it is. I found the Vacant Gesture malt bill and the way it was done was brilliant for that, so I'm looking forward to doing that. Well, I've done that. I did that on maybe Tuesday, I think. Monday or Tuesday. I think Tuesday. Did brew that excuse me, on Tuesday. All went well. Very reasonably quick brew day. And then on, I think it was Thursday morning, I was going to go for a walk. The weather wasn't great. It was rainy, bit like, well, not as bad as today. Just a bit showery, and so I thought, sod it, I'll brew a beer. Spent an hour coming up with the recipe, and then the brew day was literally 4 hours. Actual 4 hours. That included a 20-minute hop stand, hour mash, hour boil, 20-minute hop stand. Still only took 4 hours from actually finishing the recipe and adding the water into the grain father to having it packed back in here away. 4 hours. I was quite impressed. That's as fast as I've ever done. And that again is using the Idaho 7 with Vic Secret. I want that piney resininess of both of those to come through, and then just a touch of Citra, just to sort of give it a little shine on the top of that, hopefully piney dankness. Just a pale ale, simple pale ale, should come out at about 4% maybe. I think about 4.2%. I think I was going for. It was malt bill. I went with 3 kilos of extra pale Maris and a kilo of Munich. No, sorry, not a kilo of Munich. 750 grams. Was it a kilo of Munich? It might have been a kilo of Munich and a kilo of wheat, I think. I've guessed. I know I definitely used a kilo of wheat, and I think it was 3 kilos of Maris. Or it might have even been 2.5. Can't remember. But yeah, I had a kilo of. I think it was a kilo of Munich as well, because I just like Munich. You know, I just wanted to add some. So I think that's pretty much the body done. The wheat beer, just for extra body to it. We'll see how it comes out. Bit of a problem with that one though, actually. With West Country Ale yeast. I was going to add that in, and I did. I had some dried, and I've used it before, and it's gone off perfectly. I put this in straight away, and quite a fair bit, sort of like a couple of teaspoons worth of flakes, maybe even a tablespoon's worth of flakes. I mean, obviously I went more than I would with the Crike, and I've done it before with the West Country Ale, this West Country Ale yeast, and that was fine, but this one just didn't go off. So I put it in on Friday, Saturday, no, I did it Thursday. Friday, I hadn't done anything. So I was seeing nothing. So yesterday I put some more in. Today still nothing. So I've chucked in some from Garden Quag, my house quag. And I chucked that in first thing this morning before we went out for a walk, and came back, and I'm starting to see already that that's starting to do something. So it's going to end up with quake in it. But there we go. We'll see what comes, won't we? It is what it is. This Yorkshire Bitter though, it's looking good, isn't it? It's come out pretty reasonably clear now. It pulls nicely and it's just so smooth and creamy. It's like a proper pint, proper hand pull in a pub almost. I mean, I didn't pressurise. I did pressurise the keg just enough to hold it, stop the lid from dropping, and I've held it at 4 psi ever since, and that's enough. That 4 psi. It really doesn't want anything more than that, but you're not getting the carbonation of it. The Belma Summer Ale didn't work as well on it. Yes, I know it was kind of malty, but with a little touch of the Belma. But I did like the Belma to shine more. So when I put it back on tap, that was like the Belma started to come through again more. I do like a cask ale with hops, so I do like a hoppy cask ale, but I'm not at that stage where I can do that with the hand pull yet. That's going to take some practice, isn't it? Getting that kind of thing right. So that was the 2 brews I did this week, and I went on a bit of a spending spree again. It's so easy just to. There's just so many things, isn't there, to buy for brewing. So I got this for a start. Stir plate. Anzessa. Looks alright. I've tested it, works fine. I'll just get it out of the box to show you. That's it. 35 quid off eBay. Yeah, I know you can build your own and all that and blah blah blah, and I've probably got a load of those computer fans that I could have used, but do you know what? My electronics, I'll be honest, I've got all the electronics upstairs in the loft. Really, I think I've probably got everything I'd need: circuit boards and soldering irons and all the wiring and capacitors and yeah, I've got shit tons of that all just for the model railway. So I probably could have built it, but do you know what? I couldn't be arsed. I really couldn't be arsed. I certainly couldn't make something that looks nice as that, because I quite like that. It's quite nice, I thought. So that's going to be in here. And the reason I did buy that, now this is going to sound like I'm just spending money for the sake of it here. I wanted to do a Pilsner. I was going to do a Pilsner on that Friday when I decided I'm going to brew. I thought, dead simple. I've got Pilsner malt, I've got SARS, and I've got a lager yeast. I've got a lager yeast, but it's a bit old. It's Idle Valley Brewery old. That's how old it is. So I thought, well, I could make a starter for it, but I couldn't then because I wanted to brew there and then. And, you need at least a day, don't you, to do a starter, just to see if it was viable. So rather than buying some cheap lager yeast to make this pilsner that I'm going to make, I bought a stir plate and an Erlenmeyer flask. Now the flask hasn't come yet. I have to admit it was dead cheap, and I'll have to say thank you to Mr. Matt Calaby. You've pointed me in the right direction. It's something like $14.99 on eBay, but I actually went direct to the company, Rex. I think it's called Rex Scientific. They're a York-based company, so they're close to me. Oh me, it's quite gassy these. But it's not. I don't know what it is. I suppose it's air, really, isn't it? That's been when it's been sprayed out with the. I use the sparkler, by the way, just because it annoys Peter Hodge. He hates him. Fucking hates him. So if you don't know who Peter Hodge is, he has the Watford Junction is his YouTube channel, not Watford Gap. Apparently I keep saying Watford Gap. Sorry Peter, you have told me that, and I am doing my best. And I always want to say Watford Gap, I doesn't watch too much Minder. I think he always goes on about anything north of the Watford Gap is the hinterland, and probably Only Fools and Horses as well does that. So that's why I get Watford Gap in my head. But no, he's Watford Junction, the Watford Junction. Think trains. There you go, Peter Hodge. He also is Bowtie Brewery. That's his actual brewery that he has. He sells beers via. So if anyone wants a pint of Harlequin, he's done a Harlequin sort of bitter in cask, and he's got one for sale if anybody wants it. Get in touch with him. I imagine it's very good beer. Because he's quite proud of it. So I've got an Erlenmeyer flask to come. And Matt Calmy put me onto them. Because if it's like 15 quid for a 3 litre Erlenmeyer. Anywhere else I've looked, like 20, 30 quid. Going up and up and up. So, 25 I think was the lowest I'd found. So thanks to Matt Calaby for that. And going back to Peter Hodge, I'd also said, do you know what? All this stuff that you want, just like things I would like now. Do you get satisfied when you've got to a point where you bought enough stuff and you go, yeah, that's it, I'm done. Now all I want to buy are ingredients, and I can brew for the rest of my life just with ingredients. No. So things I would still like. I was like, well, obviously there's the glycol chiller. I want the glycol chiller just for the fermenter. Yeah. Possibly then get a second fermenter. You know, 'cause one fermenter's all right, but two's twice as good, isn't it? On top of that, there's the what was it? I said a tilt. So I mentioned a tilt. And I'd like one of the iTap things. Then I'd have no excuse. Everyone else is getting them now, aren't they? I know everyone's getting them, but I'm like, I have seen it. It does look good. And it'd be like, I'd have no excuse then. I know I've got the old freaking Blickman bottling gun, but I hate it. I fucking hate it. And I tried tapping just straight off the tap, and I hate the messing about with that. And I've had browning issues with Neepers and things, and I think the iTap is the thing to go for. If you get that, you pretty much sort it. Get it set, get it fixed, away you go. Job's a good one. I've watched Martin Bailey, Dakat Brewery, and I'm sure I've seen a couple of others. I know Dickie Dewsbury's just got one. Who else have I seen? Matt Calaby got one now, and who else? Who's doing one in the live chat? Chris Millington. He was doing one on the last live brew day, trying to fix one to a ball and that. So pretty much everyone's getting one of those. I'm a bandwagon man. I seem to be. I've got the handful. Now I want that. The iTap. So going back to Peter Hodge, I'd said about I've got the tilt. I don't use. He has 4 tilts. He doesn't use anymore. He says because he does a lot of his brewing for sale, he has to use specialist hydrometer. You know, like proper scientific, accurate hydrometers. So he doesn't bother with the tilts anymore. So he's like, well, do you want one? I'm like, hey! So I've got a tilt on the way from Peter. Cheers, Peter. Thank you very much. So I've had a bit of a spending spree again. So that's the Erlenmeyer, the stir plate, and a tilt. The reason I want the tilt really is for doing like complete close transfers, because now I've got the kit. Yeah, the close transfer kit for the grandfather. Oh, and just on that, I bought that last week, and this week, fucking Malt Mill come out and say, yeah, we've got a close transfer kit for you can use with your grandfather. Yeah, I've got that. No, our own, which is cheaper. Yeah, go me. In fairness, I had pretty much all of the equipment that was there for that already. The only bit I wouldn't have was the tri-clamp and the valve for the top, which is pretty much one of the like a conny keg valve top on a steel plate that just fits with a gasket, and then you try to clamp it onto the top of your fermenter. Yeah, that annoyed me. Just when I was moments. Oh, if I'd waited one more week, I'd have probably got it. I know I'd have most of the bits already, but yeah. So yeah, the tilt would work better with doing doing NEPAs, because a hydrometer reading. You see, you just leave it in, don't you, through the whole brew. I know it fucks up with the hops a bit, but you got pretty much got a good idea of what's going on when you're ready and when you can do things. So I tend to do the dry hop pretty much at the end anyway. So once I get the readings I want, you're pretty much done, aren't you? Yeah. So that's why, and then obviously connect Wi-Fi with my fermenter so I can watch, as well as keeping the temperatures and do whatever I want with the temperatures. I can see also the gravity readings as it goes, and make nice pretty graphs and everything. Like all these stuff everybody else posts. So yeah, and those are the things I'd like, as well as the things I've bought. And I think maybe one more keg. I could do with one more keg really, because I've got 3 kegs, and 3 kegs can go on the go. A 4th keg, certainly in winter, would be a hand pull one just separately. I don't even need it in the Keys, will you? Don't need a hand pull in the Keys on me in winter, because the shed's getting cold enough. Summer maybe not. It does get a bit warm in here. And warm hand pull is. I've done a session on warm hand pull, and yeah, it's alright. It's not alright really, is it? It's shit. So nothing worse than warm beer. So where are we at? Wow, 16 minutes. We're just doing beer. Proper beer chat. So I was going to do this, a live stream. I was going to, I'll do a live stream. It's easier for me. Anyone joins in, it'd be interesting to see if anyone does join and watch. Mainly because I saw Big Bananas on Friday. I only caught the half-assed end of it. So I didn't hear all the stories that sounded interesting and fun. I caught the bit about shitting himself, I think. Not the puking everywhere one. Funny. So if you don't, that was his Friday one. But so I went to do a live stream. Nah, my account's not. It's not available on my account. They've altered things, so I'm no longer. It's no longer available for me. Here you go. Joys of not having 1,000 subs, I guess. I need to do some work then, don't I? Do some proper videos rather than just this Sunday chat. Sorry, talking. It does make me thirsty. I'm going to dip in for another one. I'll have one of these rather than a NEPA, I think. It's a bit early even for me for a NEPA. See what time is it? It's about. What time is it? 1:30. Oh, quite early, but we're up early this morning. Went to the local car boot. I was expecting to be massive, absolutely heaving and brilliant. Loads of people expected. It'd been a bank holiday weekend. The sun was shining. The weather looked beautiful. Like it was going to be a cracking day. It started again just last week, so it was a case of the first one was last week. So I thought, well, everyone will know it's on now. So I'll be busy. Well, it wasn't. And then after that, we went for Mrs. and myself and our youngest went for a walk out in the countryside. Just did a 5k, just a stroke. So most of the hills and that I had to take the little one on my shoulders, run up the hills. So yeah, go faster, daddy, faster, daddy. I'm like, kind of fun. So I had a real workout this morning. Oh, there's one section, and it's just steps that go up this hillside. I mean, they're not like proper steps. It's just like wood boards cut into the hillside mud, and then stone bits where the stone sticks out. So it's not like regular proper footpath thing, and it's winding up this hill out upon the moors. Oh man, the leg burn. I got him in my shoulder screaming, faster daddy, faster. And I'm trying to get up this hill. I was broken. I was sucking air for about 10 minutes after we got to the top. He's going, daddy, daddy, carry me again. So I've really earned these. I don't care what time it is. I've really earned these today. Very pleased. And going on to the walking. Ooh, done some fair bit of walking this week. Well, I hadn't. Tuesday I just did a little short 10k. I think it was 10k in Tuesday morning. Monday I didn't do anything. Tuesday I did that. Did I? Was it Monday I went for the walk? It might have been Monday I went for the walk because I brewed Tuesday, didn't I? Yeah, brewed Tuesday, Monday. Because what I do is I take our youngest to school he has to be there for like 8:45, and it's just round the corner. It really is. It's like 300 yards. He has to be there for 8:45, and I set off at 3 minutes to that. So 8:42 I set off, and we're there. We're still waiting usually for the gates to open and stuff. So I drop him off, and that's when I start my walk, and then I go off wherever I go. Did a quick one out, a little way out into the country on a country path, round, then up down a steep hill, then up on the side of another steep hill, just to get the hills in. Once again for the leg burn and all that, really. So that was simple Monday one. Tuesday brewed. Wednesday worked. Thursday brewed. Yeah, Thursday brewed. Friday, so I went on my big walk Friday. Went right out and away. I did some roads. I don't like doing roads. Road type. I mean, these are country lanes, so your verges are like there, like that mostly. If you get a bit of a flat verge, you're like in heaven. It's like, oh, I can walk on the spurge rather than on the roadside. So you're always constantly aware of vehicles and stuff. I mean, I know these country roads, it's like, oh, there's never any vehicles. Fucking tons of tractors and horse boxes and stuff like that. Yeah, fucking horse and carriage, that'd be much better, wouldn't it? Yeah, then for fucking miles coming. But yeah, so I did a big one. That was like 20. I think it came out 23 kilometres when I got back. I was 4 hours, and I think it was 429 metre elevation gain kind of thing. So I hit some big hills then, really pushing the hills, because I really want to get this. Because this lightweight walk isn't a walk in the park. This is some real serious hills and rough terrain and stuff, because you're crossing moorland and that, and there's not. I mean, I know there's paths there, but they're not footpaths really. You won't. They're not easy, and most of the inclines happen in the last 10 miles of the walk. So you've done 30 miles, and then you've got to hit the fucking hills big time, and it's just like, yeah, up and down, up and down. So I'm having to start doing these bigger walks. I still haven't hit a 20 miler, a proper 20 miler, a real big 20 miler. Because I go so far. I know I was going to go do this walk. It was going to be a long straight, and that, but it was just like, it's so dull. It is so dull. I mean, I know I have headphones in and I'm listening to audiobooks as I'm doing it, but still, just a long straight along a old railway line is dull. It was great when I was just first doing it now, because now I'm a bit fitter, a bit jazzier. I want to go on a bit more trains and stuff. So I just can't be arsed with it. It's just the same plodding, and I think it works worse on your legs and stuff, because it's just the same plodding, same foot movement over. It's just like a competitive strain injury kind of thing, almost. You know. Anyway, that's the walking. Well, no, because not after that. That was Friday, wasn't it? Yeah. Saturday then was yesterday, and the missus said, "Oh, do you want to go for a walk?" Because our little one was at the grandparents because his cousins were there, so he went there. So we said, "We'll go for a walk then." So I dragged her on it only timed it as 15 kilometres, but I think the bits that we hadn't recorded, it worked out about 20 kilometres, and she was pretty fucking broken by the end of it, I'll be honest. I think I was still like, yeah, let's go. Although she did drag me down into town as part of it, and then we had to do the shopping bit where suddenly my legs just went, no, go, fucking go. Going around those bloody charity shops. That was another thing, talking of charity shops. I haven't got it with me. I got the Brewdog Craft Beer book as well. I picked up on Friday after my walk that I was doing. As part of that walk, on my way back, I head towards where the Abbey is. But my wife works it's just on the road just off there, so she has the view of the Abbey all day when she's at work, when she's in the office. So I popped in there to say hello, and she said, "Oh, have you got any food on you?" I'm like, "No, I'm going to town to get some chips and sit on the harbour front." She went, "Oh." So she decided to come with me. So I went in town, got chips, sat on the harbour front. Well, I sat right on the harbour front. That scared her a bit, so she said, "Oh, I'll walk off and have my chips somewhere else. I'll head back to work and have mine anyway." So she just went, took her chips. So I sat there right on the harbour. And I would have sat on a bench, but they were all full. I mean, the town was heaving with tourists, so I had to go all the benches and that. So I was quite happy. It's like being a fucking 10-year-old again. I used to love that when I was young. Sitting, feet dangling over the edge of the piers, looking at the boats, eating my chips, fighting seagulls, losing to seagulls. When I'm a bit bigger, I can wrestle them down, keep the chips. Yeah, so we had that, and then just on the off chance, I just thought, do you know, I'm going to have a look in Oxfam, which is across the road from the pier. When I say pier, these are very small piers on the inside the harbour, not actually the pier extensions, like you have at the end of the harbour that hold the waves back so that you have a nice harbour. No, this is the inner piers that are in the harbour area, just a wooden pier where they store the lobster pots and stuff. So I was sat on there having the chips, and then across the road from there is a Wetherspoons, and next door to that is the Oxfam. And I went in there and happened to find the craft beer for the people, the Brewdog book, $3.99. Bargain. Absolutely brand new, still spanker. It still had the thing on the back, stuck on the back inside cover, with the beer mats and stuff that you get with it. Bonus. And it was just one of those things, just like, and I never normally bother thinking, I'll just have a look in here. It's not my thing, I wouldn't normally have done that, but I did. And it must have called to me from across the road. Oh, beer book. So I went and got that. I just went around it, then I got it. Some interesting recipes in there, isn't there? For those that have it, I mean, those that don't have it, it's not the same as the book of all the recipes, their recipes that they put out, all their recipes that they put out, like they put them all as PDF, didn't they? Because I had that, the PDF of all their recipes, which is good. It was good. It's like that, but it also has things like Beavertown, Gamma Ray. There's a Buxton Brewery one. I think it's Halcyon also in there, Thornbridge and stuff. So there's a few other beers, and then there's food recipes as well, and beer and food recipes. So like specific beers that go in, you cook with to make the foods. So I was quite impressed, quite chuffed for that. So I'm in the middle of reading that at the minute. So yeah. I'll tell you what I do like. I know it's a tangent, this, don't I? The Williams Brothers you get from Aldi, that Mr. Matt Evans put me on to, is the Blood Orange IPA. Now, I really like that. And so with the recipe with the Elvis juice, yeah, see where I'm going with that. Yeah, so the Elvis juice recipe, I'm really fancy doing that, and then chucking just shitload of blood oranges in something. Yeah, do that. That sounds like a good one. I haven't got blood oranges, because you can't just get. I'm just going to blood oranges, because we've got to think about air miles and things, haven't we? Food miles and all that. But oranges we still get. So I'll just use oranges. It doesn't have to be blood orange. I might just fucking orange juice. Can of orange juice. I just want a juicy orange beer. You know what I mean? Yeah, you do. Last week's. Yeah, I didn't really get many comments on that one, did I? I did go on around, didn't I? About the football, and I still stand by everything I said on that. I really do. I'd had a couple of beers, but don't let me get it out, I suppose. Normally, I wouldn't bother. I still agree and stand by everything. I disagree still with the idea of the ELS. I've always hated the Premier League. You just say that because you're a Liverpool fan, never won it. Well, we've won it now, so I can feel I can say it, you know. Oh, by the way, do you like my cat? Feel like wife goes, oh, you look a bit like Jurgen Klopp. No, I fucking don't. I'm not that sexy. That's for sure. So I grow a beard just to see. Get a beard back, a bit of beard, bit of Klopp beard. Yeah, joking. Yeah. So yeah, I'm having to wear this. I burnt the fucking top of my head there. I say I'm doing all this walking, and yeah, I'm out in the sun all the time. So I've now got to get a hat on. My head's getting burnt to fuck. Yeah, it's a bit burnt there. Right. We're at what 31 minutes. I don't really have anything more to say, I guess. I'll tell you what I will do. I'm going to tell you a story now. I know Big Banana told his and they were funny. So this is one of those stories where I'm embarrassed for myself, but it's not. It's an embarrassing, stupid thing I did. But it leads on to even more stupidity and more embarrassment. So I used to work at a place called Your Cheshire Cheese on Fleet Street in London. It's a pub. Yeah, it's a Sam Smith's pub. I'd just come back from Egypt, and I'd been in Israel and Egypt for a year. I did 6 months in Israel and 6 months in Egypt, and I needed some cash. And to me at the time, the case was, I'll do whatever, but London's the place you've got to be to get some cash fast, because you can get money there like you can't believe it. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of people who have no money there, but as a young person, it's a great place for travellers. If you're into travelling, which at the time I was into travelling a lot, seeing the world, and I had no ties and all that. So it's a great. I saw it as a bank. So I went to London, got a job in a place called Cheshire Cheese, Your Old Cheshire Cheese, which is on Fleet Street. It's a Sam Smith's pub. It was a live-in, so accommodation provided, food provided, and you got paid for it as well. So I was doing that. Obviously, there was a restaurant side, there was the bar side, and then there was the catering side itself, those that did the cooking and that. So one evening, I went. One of the chefs, a lovely guy. He's still working in London, I think. At one point, he was working at I think he was working at the Fat Duck. Is it the Fat Duck? You know what I mean? The Blumenthal place. At one point, I think he was working with him. As a very low chef. But yeah, a really lovely guy. He was really into trying, because at that time I was vegetarian, so he was really into making me trying new recipes and stuff, and bringing them to me in my room. Try this. So I was getting loads of like food for nothing anyway, as well as that, because he was like trying to experiment and stuff. Anyway, so there was him, one of the waiters that worked the chop room. It's called the Chop Room. It's why you go to get chops. It's a really famous pub in London on Fleet Street, the Your Cheshire Cheese. It is really nice place. If you ever get the chance, go. I mean, some of the people that have eaten there, etc. We're talking. Used to live around the corner was Samuel Johnson. Who used to, wrote the dictionary. There is a copy of the original dictionary in there. I don't know how visible it is for the public. It's sort of up some stairs and stuff. It's there. It is a fucking sawdust on the floor and stuff place. It really is. We had to actually put it down every day, the sawdust. So if you're in London and I know it's a Sam Smith's pub, but they do some nice bottled beers. They're other beers are shit, I know, but they're bottle beers. So anyway, there was him. One of the waiters from the chop room, which is the restaurant part, which, as I say, Samuel Taylor Coleridge, Wordsworth used to go there. Bill Clinton used to go in there. Whilst I was there, we had the Australian president, was the president, Bob whatever, I can't remember. The fella that used to hold the... not the Chug Challenge, but it's the Yard of Ale. Used to hold the world record for the Yard of Ale. Him, he was in there while I was there. Cause I used to work. Everyone I worked with were all either Aussies or Kiwis or Saffers. I was the only Brit, and they all went, "Oh, he's in." Oh, yeah. So it is a nice pub. I used to have. It's got a big history, a big literary history of famous literary people used to go there. Anyway, so this chop room is where they all used to go and eat the food. So this waiter, he was from Madeira. But he was a Cockney Madeiran. He was a charmer as well. He was a lovely lad. Him and a couple of others that I'm sorry to say I can't remember who they were. A couple of the Aussie guys, I think. Might have been also the Kiwi, one of the Safford couples. Anyway, we go out for the night. It's end of shift. It's Friday. We're not at work on the Saturday. The shift's that in the city of London, which is where it's based, pretty much. Everything pretty much shuts Friday. Friday night's your last, and then it's pretty much shut. But the Cheshire Cheese does open Sunday morning. It's up till about 1, then it's shut. Everywhere else is pretty much shut. So that used to also be part of the Monopoly board that everyone used to play drinking Monopoly. So that was the one pub they could go on Fleet Street to get Fleet Street. So we went out Friday night. Nothing happening Saturday. We were all off rota, so we could get absolutely pissed and that. So we'd had the post beers in the pub after we closed down. So we closed down, have some beers. Someone nips out to McDonald's, which was 2 doors down, brought snacks and that. And then we were like, oh, let's go out. So I went to a club in Covent Garden. I can't remember the name of it, but it's just actually in the Covent Garden area. You've got the big place with Punch and Judy place and all that, but this was just off to the side, one of the nightclubs there, and we'd go a couple of times before, and I'm in there, and it's like a cocktail inside. It's dance area and that, but they're all doing cocktails, but they're doing it like doing all the flipping and all the twisting and all that, which is important for the story. So they're all doing the flipping and twisting. That there's another bar which is like a practice bar with a rubber floor, and they practice and they bounce the shaker off the bottom of the floor and catch and flip it and that. And so I'd worked all day the Friday. We'd been drinking beforehand before we got there in the pub we'd had the line clean and the 3 pints that we have after work on a Friday. Got there, had a couple of bottles, and I'm there watching them, and they're doing the tossing, and I'd finished my beer. I had a glass bottle, and they had a bottle skip next to him, and I thought, do you know what? I'm going to be so cool, I'm going to chuck my bottle into the bottle skip. And for some reason in my head, I thought this was a great idea. So I'm my side of the bar, they're behind the bar trying to work and doing the tossing and the looking juggling, and they had a register sort of there, and next to it was this bottle skip. And I'm like, yeah, chuck it. Totally missed. Hits the cash register, shatters everywhere. The bar staff are like, whoa, what the fuck? So, and they've got like headsets on all these, and then straight away, and this absolute monster of a guy just suddenly on my hand on my shoulder, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm sorry, mate, nah, fuck it, you're out, son. So I get chucked outside, and I'm chucked out, and I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. I mean, I have to admit, that was the most embarrassing, stupid thing I can think I've done for a while at that point. And I'm sat there. My coat's still inside. All my friends are still inside. I've got my little ticket. I'm like, can I get my coat? He's like, well, you have to wait till the place shuts at 2 o'clock, and then you can go in. And this is like something like 12:30, 1ish. And I'm thinking, I could sit out here for a fucking hour or so. And there's some homeless people just across the road, sort of milling about. And they start kicking off. And this big fight starts. At which point these bouncers and that rush out to try and sort it. So I nip back inside. Because there's no one on the fucking door at this point. So I can nip back inside. But rather than just for a drink, I'm like, right, I grab my coat, get my coat, and I'm like, I go see everyone. I said, right, I'm going to go. Sorry about all this. I got tricked out because I was being a tit. You saw me, didn't you? But I'm going to go now, and I'll see you back at the place, or see you in the morning. So I go back outside. Because I'm coming out now, and I've got my coat on, the bouncers and that, like, not really noticing me. So I walk back out. These homeless guys are still looking about. And I suddenly decide, I want to smoke a joint. Where am I going to get some dope? I'll ask these homeless people. So I go over, oh yeah, I want to get some stuff. Do you know where I can get some stuff? Like a tenner's worth or something. And they're like, oh yeah, come with us. So I get dragged off somewhere. I'm pissed as a fart at this point. I'm like, oh yeah, go see Greg or what. I can't remember who they said, we'll go see so-and-so. So I'm wondering, how are you? Like, some drunken guys talking to me. I don't have a house, I don't have money, and but you're talking to me and asking me how I am. This is just ridiculous. But this is what I'm like when I've had a few. I'll go blah 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 to people I don't know, and just chat shit with them. So anyway, they're taking me, God knows where. And we get there, and it's, oh yeah, we got some heroin. No, I don't want heroin. I just want to smoke, some blow, some grass, So, oh yeah. Oh, we'll go see so and so over there. Take me to this prostitute. So I'm chatting to her. I mean, she's a nice lass. She's not. I mean, this isn't like like you see on the TV where she's wearing a skirt up to here and the top down to here kind of thing. She's just dressed normally. Seemed like a normal lass. She's like, oh, do you want to get some dope? Yeah. Oh, right, yeah, it was 15 quid. I've only got a tenner. Oh, I can get some more cash machine. Oh, yeah. So she gets me in a car, takes me to a bloody cash machine. On the way, she's going, are you sure you don't want anything? I said, what do you mean? Oh, well, yeah, I want some dope. She's like, no, do you a bit of sex and that? Do you want some, I'll give you a blowjob. I'll do that for a tenner. I'm like, no, I'm fucking wasted. My penis is dead. I'm just dead. I just want to smoke some dope. This is all in my head. That's all I want. I'm fixated on it now because I've had a few. So she takes me to this cash machine place, and I get out, and I'm all like, yeah, I'm going to be secret. Oh, yeah, because I'm so fucking good at this security line. So I get the money, get back in the car, we go back to her place, wherever it was, and she says, right, I'll drop you here, and then I'll go get the dope, and I'll be back. Yeah, okay. So I'm stood there, just waiting, and these random dudes come up and go, oh, yeah, you're waiting for so-and-so. I'm like, I didn't even know her names. I'm like, yeah. All right, well, she won't give you anything. What? I'm just waiting for some dope off her. No, you won't get it off her. Right, well, come with us. We'll sort you. Oh, okay. So I'm wandering off with these, 6 or 7 guys. They're only young, maybe in their early 20s. Maybe even teenagers. Young black guys. I know I'm bringing their colour into it, but they were all, 6 or 7 guys, just themselves, all black. They was just surrounding me then and leading me. So I'm going down, and I'm like, oh, have you got the money? And I went like that to touch my back pocket. They go, oh, there you are. And they jumped on me and started grabbing me to get my wallet. So I'm wrestling with the bastards. I end up on the floor wrestling with them, and suddenly they get up and run. There's a police car coming up. So I'm like, get back up again. Police car just shakes his head as he drives past. Doesn't do anything. Are you alright? Anything. So I'm like, whoa, I'm fucking there. Ooh, adrenaline up because I just got jumped. And I carry on. And I get to, I hadn't a clue where I was or how I'd ended up where I was, but somehow, I don't know how I do it. I don't know how you do it. When you're that drunk, but somehow you have these almost autopilot switches on, and you end up back to where to get home, kind of thing. You could have been anywhere, and you just end up blah. And it's almost like a, they say homing pigeons use. It's like that, and I ended up back to where I knew where I was. not Piccadilly. It wasn't Piccadilly. It's where the where all the theatres come out, and where is it might have been Piccadilly. I'm trying to think what the other square is, but yeah. Anyway, I worked out where I suddenly knew where it was. I'm like, oh, from here I can get on to Fleet Street from here. I'm aware, then I can go home. And then I see these two lads again, these two black lads, and I recognise them from ones that had attacked me, and they're like, oh great, no, we're gonna have to go again. There's two of them at least only this time, not looking 6 or 7 as there was last time. I mean, but I don't think there's going to be a police car here, but we're right out in the big posh area, sort of. There'll be CCTV everywhere around here. You know, England, there's CCTV everywhere, and certainly London is rammed with CCTV. But obviously, we'd be down this back street, and that when I got fucking jumped. And they ran over and he goes, oh, sorry. Okay, we've got dope, and they show me. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, finally. Yeah, just a tenner. I'm like, well, I'm saving £5 here. Gave him a tenner, got the bag of dope, put it in my pocket, get home, go to bed, fall asleep. Now, I share a room with, at this point, I was like sharing a room with a guy. We were the only 2 single guys, see, so we ended up having a room share thing. As part of this Aussie guy, as part of where I was being part of the workplace sort of thing. So I wake up next morning, I'm relaying the story about what happened and where I went and what I did, and I said, oh yeah, and I got the dope. So I pulled it out of my pocket, opened it up, it was a fucking bag of leaves. They just ripped some leaves off a fucking bush, and I spent £10 on a bag of leaves. But at least I got a story out of it. That's the way I have to look at it. For that £10, I bought a story. So I hope that was of interest to you. Yeah. I think at that point it's probably good to call it a day, isn't it? So thanks for watching if you got this far, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.